So someone comes up to you after service on Sunday and says they want to sing on the team. You set up an audition, but halfway through you realize, I'm going to have to tell this person no. How do you say no to someone during the worship team audition process? We're going to talk about that. Hey, it's Dave Dolphin at practicalworshipblog.com, sharing ideas, tips, and practical advice for the everyday worship leader. And recently got this question from IGD Music. It says, if the person auditioning does not qualify for whatever reason, what is the approach? What do you tell them without being harsh? Well, that's a really good question, and the thing to keep in mind is that most people have a pretty good idea of what it takes to serve on your worship team. I mean, they see the quality level every single weekend, and they know generally what they're capable of, but every now and then, there's going to be someone that auditions that just doesn't quite measure up to the skill level that you need to be on the team. And the thing is that no one likes to hear no, and no one likes to say no, but it's important to say no, and it's okay to say no. So think of it this way. If you say no to something, you're saying yes to something else. And the opposite of that is true as well. If you don't say no to something that you probably should, you are saying no to something that you shouldn't. For example, let's say someone wants to meet with me on a Tuesday night, and I'm kind of reluctant, but I don't want to hurt their feelings. And so I go ahead and I tell them yes. I'm also saying no to my family, who I like to spend time with on a Tuesday night. When you say no to a potential team member, you're saying yes to the qualities of a healthy team member. It affirms the quality and the skill level and the time and the energy that your current team is bringing to the table. It's easier to say no now than to say please leave later on. If you say no during the audition process, it's painful for you and it's painful for the other person. But if you have to say no later on, that's painful for the entire team. Something that makes it easier is to warn them in advance that there's the potential for a no. You can do this in an initial document that they get, or maybe an email that gets sent out before the audition process, or maybe at the very beginning of the audition process. You just say, hey, heads up, I might say no, and that's okay. If you warn them in advance, it takes a little bit of the sting off, and it helps reduce the potential of them feeling blindsided when you do have to tell them no. Now, when I'm auditioning someone, I try really, really hard not to say no, but maybe say not yet. As you're listening to that person sing or that person play, what is it that's missing, and is that trainable? Is there a book that you can recommend? Is there an MP3 from a conference you went to, from a workshop that you can send them? Are there some resources you can put in their hands that, if they're willing to put in the work, could be a potential yes later on? And here's the thing about that, is that if you can get someone that has, they work on that and they get to a place where they do have the skill set, they've also shown that they're willing to put the work in to do whatever it takes. And that's a super valuable team member. But if you have to say no, shoot straight. Don't beat around the bush. Don't try to sugarcoat it. You actually show that person respect when you're direct with them. You say, here's where you did really well, and here's where you didn't measure up. And the thing is, that's okay. There's plenty of opportunities and plenty of places for that person to get plugged in with your church. The worship ministry might not be their thing, but something else will be, and that's completely fine. For additional resources on this topic, there's a couple of great places you can go. One, there's a great blog post where I got a lot of this information from worshipteamcoach.com. I've also written a blog on this particular topic on the audition process for our church, and we recently did a video with Life.Church where we talked about their audition process. I'm going to put all those resources in the description below. Well, here at Practical Worship, we love sharing ideas and tips and practical advice for the everyday worship leader with videos just like this one. If this was helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. That way you know when new videos are uploaded every single Tuesday here at YouTube. And if you enjoyed this and if you got something out of it, you might know someone else that could benefit from this information. Consider sharing that link through an email or Facebook or Twitter and places like that. For more great practical advice, check out practicalworshipblog.com.